Hello, welcome back to the Ohio SBDC Progress Not Panic 2020 video series. I'm your host Kevin Hammond of the Ohio SBDC at Columbus State Community College. Glad to be here and thank you for watching. Today's video is called Small Business Promotional Strategies to Implement Now. In today's expert interview video, we're going to be discussing what marketing and social media tactics small businesses should be utilizing right now during these times. As I mentioned before, each video in this Progress Not Panic series has a downloadable free resource available below in the description section of the video. On today's show, we have Tanya Wilson as our expert interview person. Tanya Wilson is a certified business advisor for the Ohio SBDC at Columbus State Community College. Tanya handles the branding and marketing strategy for the Central Ohio region for SBDC, and she coordinates and promotes over 200 training programs and events annually. Tanya holds a master's degree in marketing and communications and is also a professional certified marketer with the American Marketing Association. So let's all welcome Tanya Wilson. So we're here with Tanya Wilson today. Thank you for being here for the Progress Not Panic show today, Tanya.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we know that you do a lot of the social media stuff, and you're just have done a great job at that. With all the reopenings happening for small businesses right now, we know there's a lot of things they should probably be doing to be prepared for that. From a social media side, from just being prepared, what could be a few things that small companies could be doing right now to be prepared?
Right now, as they're waiting to open up or prepare to open up, the most important thing is that they create a plan. And so planning is always, most important in everything. So what I see a lot is that if someone is having sporadic success, it's because their efforts, their social media efforts are sporadic as well. And so if they can create an intentional plan, like really looking at what their objectives are and like what they want to achieve through social media, as well as then creating strategies around that. And then creating the actual plan, which are the tactics, which are the actual actions that they'll take. And that's what most people think of when they're doing. So like, what am I going to post? How often am I going to post? Those are the things that they think of, but there needs to be a plan behind that. So that's what's most important. When creating a plan, you want to think most businesses right now are going to be looking at how can I generate leads? And so that's what they need to focus on. That's going to be their objective. And then and in terms of social media, they're going to choose the different social media platforms by who their target audience is.
Great. So like we always say to our clients, you got to have some type of a plan before you jump right in there. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of willy-nilly. So you're
Right.
saying, starting with that plan first and then, executing on that plan.
Right. Consistency is key, being consistent and intentional. Right. And so knowing what you want. And so if you're saying like, okay, I, over this next month, I need, 50 clients, right? That's a big number, but, I need 50 sales, and how am I going to get those sales? And so you need to create an intentional campaign after that. Can you create Mother's Day is coming up, right? That's soon. That's this Sunday. But I would always suggest like people think about, okay, what's the next holiday coming up? Or, the next big thing that people celebrate and usually spend money on? How can I incorporate my business into that? And can I create a Mother's Day special? Can I create a spring spread special? And then start posting towards that, and actually creating a little plan that says, okay, if this, like, again, Mother's Day coming up is quick, but if we had more time, like say if this was the middle of April, you would say, okay, I have a special Mother's Day package I put together. And you would think about like, in order for me to, how soon would people need to place the order in order to get it in time so that you can kind of back it off, right? And so then like, okay, prior to the holiday, I need to start promoting this 2 weeks ahead, 3 weeks ahead to make sure people have time to decide they want the product and then time to actually place the order and get it shipped to them in time. And so that's when you would want to start your messaging. And so the key to that is creating that plan, creating a calendar where you can lay this stuff out on.
That's great. So, and essentially what you're saying is not just a plan, but in the plan have some goals of what what you're trying to make happen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The goals are is everything, and that's also how you can measure your success. Because, people get really frustrated, if you do a Facebook ad and then you don't feel like you have any results, from that, or you didn't get the results that you were anticipating. And so, but you really want to think ahead of time, what did I want? Am I trying to drive traffic and build awareness, which a lot of small companies, especially in the beginning, that should be one of their number one objectives, is like, no one knows you exist, so you just opened your doors and now you got to tell the world that you're here. And so you need a big awareness push. And so anything that you can do to make sure that you are getting out in front of people a lot, and making sure that they know who you are, where to find you, what you have to offer them.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So I know Mother's Day is coming up just a couple of days from now, so it might be a little bit late for some
Right.
to be ready. But I know with the reopening and stuff, especially with retail and restaurants, that's probably almost like a holiday to a lot of those small
Yeah, it is.
companies. So are there announcements that they should be making? Things on their social media that they should be ready for, working on like right now, so that they're ready for that, and kind of can stand out from everyone else that's maybe saying a lot of the same stuff?
Some of the standard things that they still need to say will be the same thing that a lot of people are saying, so they have to let people know that they're going to be safe, right? And so that they're going to be there for them, their needs are going to be met, and how that's going to happen, what is it, going to be like, so, recently, my son actually went to a dentist appointment. And so before, you could just walk into the lobby. And so now they, have to call when they're outside, and someone has to meet you in the lobby and get a face mask. And, and so depending on what you're doing, you need to let your customers know, how the change is. But on social media, making sure that they know that you're still there for them, making sure that, that they know all the regulations. And then know that it's just, social media is about being social, right? That's the key. And so they want to make sure that they are, connecting with their customers, making sure that they know that they're here, they're open, they're available. And then, getting back to business, and so letting them know what the products are available, what services that they have available, and how they can engage. And so, and that, they're, flexible. So really it all depends on who their audience is. But the key is, doing the baseline stuff, excuse me, that's expected, which is making sure that they have the safety information. And then from there, actually, talking about the products and services again, and engaging them, and then sometimes, if they can, talk about, giving their customers, there's various, different types of businesses out there, but, depending on what the product or service is there a different way that they can use it during this time? Different ways that they can engage, anything that they can do to engage. So if they can do some live videos, showing, the store, showing their products, letting people, see that the store is safe, kind of opening it up to make it inviting. That's probably some of the best things to do, is get some video going. And so really, it really depends on the individual customer.
Yeah, because there's so many different businesses out there that
Right.
are out there that we work with, and of different kinds. Some that have storefronts, some that that don't. But yeah, and I think what you said of just the video, that's always a little bit better than just the words and stuff. Because
Yes.
I think especially during this time, people, a lot of customers are still going to be kind of weary. So the more you can reassure them, first of all, that you're just going to be open at all, because, a lot of customers may not even know if that business will still be there. So letting customers know they're still going to be there, I think, is going to be a big key.
Yeah. And then also I've seen, there are, some people that are opening like a dog groomer, right? I've been waiting for my dog groomer to open forever. And so making those announcements. And then sometimes I've also had, some beauticians that have reached out to their primary, their primary customers, or, their VIP elite customers, right, that come all the time. And so they've reached out to them and got them on the schedule, first ahead of time, and just kind of set them up knowing that they're going to be opening. And that really strengthens the bond, with those customers. If you have customers that have been coming to you for years and they're loyal, be loyal to them, make sure that you take care of them. And I think that has an opportunity to really strengthen the relationship during this time.
Definitely. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Plus those loyal customers then could also be kind of the champions for that company when they are sending stuff out on their own social media stuff.
Right. Absolutely. And, like I said, especially, if you have a business where you interact with customers a lot, they've been missing this product. And so, what they've been suffering during this quarantine. So anything that you can do to get it back into their hands as quickly as possible and as easy as possible for them. And so that they're not concerned like, oh goodness, the doors are going to open and it's going to take me weeks to get in because of the demand. Right. So if you just jump in there and take care of your primary customers first and like take care of that, and then get your books open, or get your doors open to everyone else, but take care of your advocates.
Yeah, that makes great sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think just like you were saying, having them prepared and giving them an idea of what to expect when they get there to see the business, because there's so much things that are unknown or unclear.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think what you're saying is really giving them that clarity of what to expect, those kind of things, the video and so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And video is great. I think, people, when you think of a sales funnel, the social media, if you think of a regular sales funnel, there's basically, it looks at the social media at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of drills down to like a blog, and then the website, and then at the point is kind of where you're actually going to convert, right? And so I believe that people have a tendency to use two platforms in order to make a decision. So the website and the social media. Mm-hmm. And so the website is expected to be, pristine, right? It's expected to have beautiful photos of your product and service, and have all the details and information. But to really find out what is really happening in that business and what people's experience is really going to be, that's when people jump to social media. So if someone is searching for a product or service online, they find your website and everything looks good on the website, but then people are like, well, of course you expect the company to say great things about itself, right? Mm-hmm. And so you jump out to social media, and that's where you're going to get the real experience. And so you go through their social media page. Hopefully they have video out there so people can see like, oh, this is what I'm actually going to experience when I engage this company. But then you also have those reviews, right? And so these are reviews that people are able to put up by themselves, so they're not moderated, right? Mm-hmm. And so you get the real experience. And so like, if you're looking for a new restaurant, you may find the website and say, oh, this looks great. The food looks good. Let me jump out here and look at their social media. So then you look at the social media, and then you get to see videos of, say, maybe they have some live music going on, or they're just, pictures of, the staff looking great, and then you have reviews about how great the food is. Basically, that's where you're going to make your decision. You're going to be like, oh yeah, this does look like a great place to go. And then you're going to go back to the website typically at that point. You may not need to when it's a restaurant, but you're going to then look for more details to make the decision. Like, okay, where are they located? What are their hours? Mm-hmm. If they have a live music schedule, what is that? And then you're going to convert to the sale. And so people are going to use that two different ways. And so same thing is that if someone encounters your business on social media first, they may check out the social media and again, see like, oh, this looks like a really good place. Everybody, likes this product, whatever it is, right? Mm-hmm. And then they'll go find the website, because that's when they need to make more decisions. Like, is this, like, if it's a product, does this product have the qualification, for lack of a better word. Does it have the characteristics that I'm looking for? What's the quality of it? What are my different options? How much is it going to cost? And then they'll convert. And so that's why it's really a part of that decision making. Social media is a big part of decision making for people.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So maybe during these times, if companies don't already have loyalty programs, it could be something they could start with too right now, right? Just to get, to get more folks in there to be their champions too, if they haven't already done those kind of loyalty programs that are out there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like the loyalty programs, sometimes like if you go get a coffee, they have like where you can, stamp your card multiple times and then get a free coffee. Restaurants is just an easy one that pops into my head. But like, so like a lot of times like restaurants and, well, actually there's a lot of different ones like restaurants, other clothing stores, there have been clothing stores that have like, want to give a giveaway, but in order to get the giveaway, you got to take a photo of yourself in their store and post it on the social media and then show them that you posted the social media, and then they'll give you the giveaway. And so that's definitely one way of getting people to engage on your social media, and then helps you in your ranking and get seen by a lot of people. You can create, ask people to, comment or share something about your product or service. And then you can find tools that will let you randomly select one of those people as a winner of a, sweepstakes thing. So the creativity is endless. And so it's just a good time to really start engaging and rebuilding in those relationships. Same thing like with social media is really no different. I like to look at it as no different than building relationships with individuals that you actually know. The only difference is that there is a computer between you two, right? And so you would do the same thing. We've been unfortunately, kind of disconnected from everyone because of the quarantine. And so the same way you'd want to re-engage and rebuild the relationships with personal friends and family, you'd want to do that with your customers as well. And so anything that you can do to start getting touch points with them, the better.
Yeah. Like we keep hearing, it's going to take, all of us coming together for this to, for everything to get back together. And that's really what you're talking about here, is looking for those win-wins, and all of us, customers, businesses, working together, all of us coming together. Sounds like a lot of like what you're talking about here.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like it's all about being social. And so, so it's really important, to come together, and anything that they can do to engage, and make things shareable. I think a lot of times people talk about like they want to make a viral video, right? And so those things are always important. But, for myself, I think it's a little harder. I don't necessarily believe people can set out the intention, to make a viral video. They can hope that it's going to go viral. But the individuals who see the video and their reactions to it, that's what's going to actually make that happen. And so, but the more you can, again, like you said, engage more and get as many touch points as you can, with your clients. That's what's going to make the success for it. So the more that you can engage them, like you said, in terms of coming together, really try to get into your head of your customer, which is one of the things that's so important. Why in just general marketing, we talk about it's so important to have a customer persona. And so the more you know about your customer in terms of, not only who they are in terms of demographics, and so age and, sometimes gender and geographics, like where they live, but really their psychographics. And so, and if you think about it in terms of, if you can equate it to like, again, your own family and friends and how well you know them, right? So you could specifically say like, oh, this is like, George, this is what George likes, right? And this is, he would like this, he would not like that. You want to make sure that your customer just as well. And so the more you know about them, the more you know about their life experience, and then the more that you can see where do you as a company fit into that. We always talk about at the SBDC, we always talk about, the problem and the solution, right? And so what is the problem that exists in the market, and how does your business create that solution? And so for that, how does your business improve this person's life? What are you providing for them? What do they need? And how can you get that to them as easily and as quickly as possible during this time? How do you get that back? How do you help them, get your service and kind of get some kind of normalcy back to their life? And so if you can figure that out, that's going to bond. This is also a great time. People are coming out of this, and if you show up as a company with them, it does have the ability, the opportunity for you to really strengthen bonds and create advocates and champions of your customers. And it shouldn't take a lot in this time, to really have a customer feel like that they're being cared for, and appreciated. And I think that's, can be the key. And so if you can incorporate that into your social media, really make sure that that how they can get their product and service out there, and that you're thinking about their needs, and you're doing everything that you can to help them. That would be beneficial.
Definitely. Yeah, that definitely would help. And and like you're saying, the more you know about that customer, easier you're going to be able to reach them and have effective marketing time and dollars in return on that time and dollars.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. The more that's also the big part of social media, because there's tons of different social media platforms out there. There's a report from the Pew Institute, and I think the last time they did it was in 19. They did in 18 and 19, and it looks at all social media use from 18 years of age and older, adults in the U.S. And they show the usage, and so by far, YouTube and Facebook are by far the largest platforms, and so 73% of U.S. adults use YouTube, 68% use Facebook. And then, the next closest is Instagram at 35%. And so what that report also does is that it also tells you exactly what are the demographics of each platform. And so if you know who your customer is, and say if you know your customer is a female between the ages of 35 and 44, they live in a certain geographical area, then you can actually say okay, this individual uses Facebook. And they use Facebook heavily, right? And so, but they may not be a heavy user of Twitter. And so what you want to do is really know who your customer is, find the platforms that they use, and focus on those. There's no need for everyone to be on everything. You're just going to spread yourself too thin. So just if your customer is not on that platform, then you don't want to spend your time, energy on a platform where it's not going to give you that return on your investment. So figuring out and creating a persona, really thinking about who your customer is. And I also tell everyone that we'll take anyone, you're as a business, you'll take anyone's money, right? And so everybody is a customer. But by defining a persona, it doesn't exclude anyone. You're just looking for who is your best customer, who is the person who is most likely to use your product or service.
Right.
And because, money and time is not infinite, right? And so you have to really focus on using your time and energy and money to the best of your ability to get the biggest impact and to reach the most people, and the people who actually want your service. And so by doing that, that's what you can focus. If you get really good on the platforms that you are in, and you where your customers are, and then down the line you want to start thinking maybe I can make some tweaks to my product, and maybe I can go after another target market, then you can add another one on at that time. But based on the new market that you want, so it's not oh, I like Instagram, so I'm just going to do Instagram. So it's not really about what we like. It's about where our customers are.
Yeah. And that's just reinforcing what you're saying, is just know who that customer is, where they're at, where you can meet them at. And that's where you can, make that magic happen for your business.
Right. Absolutely. That's definitely the key.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Tanya. This has been some great information. I know the small businesses are going to really like hearing all these things, and I know a lot of them are worried to be prepared, and I think these things are going to really help them to be prepared to come out even stronger than before, and and take advantage of these challenging times to really think about how they can be even better. And I think you've given them some great stuff. So thanks for being here today, and
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right, well, take care.
All right, bye, Kevin.
All right, bye. Thank you again to Tanya Wilson for joining us today on the Progress Not Panic 2020 video series and giving small businesses some expert guidance on marketing and branding that they can use right now, today. As I mentioned, the free resource is available below in the description section, and it's a marketing editorial calendar worksheet for helping you to plan your promotional content for maximum effectiveness. I want to mention, as I had before, that we believe in all you great small businesses out there across Ohio. And we know that you will continue to be the foundation of our economy and our communities, and we're here for you. Thank you for everyone for watching today. I hope today's video was helpful. I think it was great. I think Tanya gave us some great stuff. Please click that subscribe button below there, and feel free to leave any comments you might have, any ideas for future videos and topics you'd like to hear about. And we'll see you next time. Bye.